Hey guys, so today's video is going to be my February favorites. These were products I was loving in the month of February. I'm gonna try to go through these products as quickly as I can. And by the way, I'm sick. Oh my gosh, Kathleen, you're always sick. Yes, I know. I honestly thought I was gonna miss this one. Like everyone in my family, all my friends, they were all sick like these past couple weeks, and I wasn't getting sick. I was like, yeah, for once in my life. Then I woke up yesterday morning with a super sore throat. My nose was stuffy, everything is nice and clogged. So I have a cold. Of course. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into my favorites, but before I do wanna mention, if my skin looks really weird and splotchy, it's because it is. My tan is fading and I can't get all of it off. I tried scrubbing the shiz out of myself last night, but it's like in that transition, you know, where things look really weird. But anyway, the first guy I want to shout out is Esspensive 26. This is my newest birthday polish. Every year on my birthday, well, it's the second year, but every year on my birthday, I want to release a Esspensive because I feel like all of us here know that phrase and we say it all the time. And I don't know how that correlates to my birthday in any way, but this year, this is what Esspensive looks like. I love it. I have it on my nails right now. It's the perfect nail polish to wear on top of any nail polish. It's such a beautiful, iridescent, ethereal, gorgeous, glittery nail polish. I can't even describe it. It's so nice, and we still have some available. I mean, compared to how many we ordered, we don't have that many. We don't have that many left. I ordered more of this one than I did of Esspensive 25 because I feel like we sold out of that one pretty fast, so I really wanted to make sure that everyone could get their hands on this. But yes, it is still available. It is limited edition. Once it's gone forever. I really mean forever. Alright, so I have to talk about this powder. I have been using it so much since I got it, and I have a whole drawer full of powders, but recently this is just the one I have been reaching for out of all my loose powders. Because honestly, sometimes I ain't got time for loose powder, and I will use pressed powder, but whenever I've been using loose powder, this is the one I've been using. It's the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder, and I have the shade Fair Light. This is such a great baking powder. I usually don't really bake my face because I have very dry skin. I guess because my skin is so dry, my lines are showing up a lot sooner than I thought they would. You know, it's been a struggle. I've been talking about it a lot, but foundation has just been sinking into my smile lines, and foundation will also sink into my forehead lines. I make a lot of expressions. I have my whole life. So those are the two main areas I like to bake. Also underneath my contour. I never bake under my eyes because I have dry skin and that just looks really crazy. But I have been using this to bake those areas, and this is such a great powder for that because it doesn't emphasize my dryness, and I love that. This is also a great all over setting powder. I use it all the time to set my entire face, and it doesn't emphasize my dry skin. It looks so nice. It looks flawless on the skin. Such an amazing powder from the drugstore. I was really blown away by it. Not initially when I first tried it. I thought it was like okay, but the more I used it, the more I realized, wow, I love it so much. Alright, so I want to talk about a few makeup brushes, all from different brands, but I have been loving these brushes so much. I've been using them a lot, kind of like off camera. Two of them are actually very new. I've only been using these for like a couple weeks. These are the new Colourpop brushes, and I have to say, I am so impressed with their second release of brushes, way more than I was with their first launch. Like my small fluff brush came out with the first launch, and it's like the best highlighting brush known to man. But a lot of the other brushes were like, to me, like I wasn't completely in love with the entire range, but their new brushes that they sent over, I really like them. Not all of them are great, but there are a lot of winners. I have really been enjoying these two brushes, mainly this one. This is the F13 brush. I really love that now they included the name of the brush on the actual brush. They didn't have that before. I love that. This is such a great versatile brush. You can use this for so many different things. It's so fluffy, it's so soft, it's not stiff at all. If you want a really precise contour, this is gonna give it to you. It's like super precise. You can also bronze with this. You just gotta use this side and you get like a really nice bronzer application. You can highlight with this, but my favorite way to use this brush is actually with powder, and not with powder like this. I love using this with pressed powders. For example, I've actually been using it a lot with this. This is actually another favorite of mine, so I'm gonna skip over these brushes really quick and talk about this little combo. This is an oldie but a goodie. It's the Face Glow in the shade Natural by Girlactik, and it's pretty much just a luminous powder. I guess it would be considered a highlight, but it is so natural, I wouldn't call it a highlight. Really similar to the Essence be my highlight powder that I love so much. You could actually use this brush with that instead of this if you already have that. But I've just been using this powder more because my friend Gabby, she's a makeup artist, she recently used this like on my entire face one day when she did my makeup, and I kept looking in the mirror the whole night like, wow, my skin looks so good. And she was telling me how this was the only thing she had done differently from other times when she's done my makeup, and it just looked so nice. So I've been doing that a lot. Even though I've had this product forever, I've just been using it so much more now. So I'll just take this brush, dip it into this, and then I'll kind of just sweep this around my entire face, literally all over my face, mainly on my cheeks, forehead, chin, but I pretty much put this everywhere. It gives me such a beautiful, healthy glow. I've had this forever and I don't know why I ever stopped using it. This is pretty old, so I'm actually gonna pick up another one. It's so luminous, but in such a natural way. I have just been so into it, so into this brush. I just love how it applies pressed powder. It has so many uses. Like, I totally 100% recommend this brush. And then this one I don't love as much, but I've been using it so much just to dust off my baking or to add powder underneath the eyes. This is the F9. A lot of smaller stippling brushes can be a little bit stiff and just not flimsy enough, but this one is really, really good. And I actually like it a lot more than their new F14, which is like the big stippling brush. I feel like these kinds of brushes, you can get them anywhere. This one is like okay to me. I still use it, but I really like their little stippling brush. And then I've been loving these eye brushes. One of them is from Wet n Wild, and then these two are from Elcie Cosmetics. This one from Wet n Wild, I use it in a very specific way. Sometimes I'll use it underneath my eyes if I really need to buff out a color, because it is a very stiff, tiny, it looks like a pencil brush, but it's more of like a little just stiff dome. But I do use it underneath my eyes like that sometimes. But the main way I use this is to pop on my highlight on my inner corners. I think it's because it is so stiff and so densely packed that whenever you pop this on your inner corners, whatever like highlight or whatever eyeshadow you're putting down looks so intense. I freaking love it. And then these Elcie brushes, I really love. I feel like they really are unique. I don't have many brushes in my collection that look like this. This one is the L13, and I'm pretty sure this is like a lip brush, but I use it on my eyes as a pencil brush all the time, and it is so skinny and so precise. I love this to get near the lash line. Like, I'm talking about like right there underneath the lash line. This is so precise. It's awesome for a liquid liner as well because it is so skinny. I love this brush. And then I love this one as well. This looks like a combination between a regular flat shader brush and like a MAC 217, like one of those classic blending brushes. This is like a combo of both, which is what I love about it, because I love using this to apply color all over my lid, like a wash of color. For example, like if I'm gonna do like a matte brown smoky eye all over my lid, I will apply the brown with this. It'll look amazing, it'll be beautiful, and then I'll just twist the brush a little bit and start blending it into the crease, and it buffs out the color so nicely, and it really does blend the eyeshadow so well. So I feel like it does multiple things. I love the length of this. I love how dense it is. I love this brush. Okay, so I have two highlights to talk about, and they're both collabs with influencers, which is kind of exciting. The first one being the highlight that I have not stopped wearing. I haven't been able to put this down. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy highlight. It's the highlight Amrezy created, and it is gorgeous. This is one of those formulas that isn't a powder. I mean, it is a powder, but it's not powdery. Like, there's no fallout in this. Look at this. Normally, any other highlight would just be like, this one doesn't do that. Not that that bothers me or anything, like if I have a powdery highlight, but I just wanted to mention that. This is such a beautiful undertone because it's a gold, but it's not like a yellow gold. It's not like, oh, that's a gold highlight. I feel like those kind of highlights only work well on someone that has a very warm complexion, but this highlight can be worn by pretty much everyone. I feel like even if you're very fair, you're still gonna get use out of this because it's a gold that doesn't really have a base color all that much. So it honestly just looks like a sheen on the skin. And then I feel like even if you're deep, it's still gonna look like a beautiful golden glow. I love this highlight. I feel like she nailed it. It's the highlight I'm wearing on my skin, and it looks so natural on the skin. You can build it up to make it look really intense and crazy, but even then it doesn't look textury or thick or anything on the skin. It really is a beautiful formula, regardless of how you feel about Amrezy, because I got so many comments on my Amrezy video. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. I truly genuinely like her, and I genuinely like this highlight, like on another level. This is so good. Anastasia, you guys killed it. It is amazing. And then my other highlight favorite is something I didn't think I was gonna like as much as I do, and I've actually been wearing it a lot, especially since I got my tan. This is the Artist Couture Diamond Glow Powder in the shade La Peach, which is in collaboration with Aina. This is so nice. I didn't purchase Le Bronze because I thought it was just gonna be a little bit too bronzy on me. But when she released Le Peach, I'm like, I feel like that one might work for me. And it totally does. I feel like this would work on so many different skin tones. It doesn't have a strong base color or anything like that. It doesn't look like a stripe on the skin. It honestly looks like a beautiful glowing peach. It looks incredible. You know what? I'm just gonna add a little bit to my face right now. You probably won't be able to tell on top of this highlight because I have so much of it on, but oh my gosh, this is so incredible, guys. Like, you have no idea. This is so pretty. This is like the perfect night out on the town highlight. I know I always say that, but I don't know what else to describe it as. It's like a nighttime, delicious highlight. It looks so pretty. It's so smooth. It goes on with such a nice sheen. There isn't a lot of glitter to this. It is a shimmer, but it's not chunky or just unnatural on the skin. It actually looks just so beautiful. I highly recommend this. Maybe not if you're like Snow White, like very fair, but it would also be a beautiful blush topper. Like, this just looks good all over your cheek. I don't know, it's amazing. Speaking of amazing, a few weeks ago, I did a full face of Essence makeup. It was like a first impressions, and I fell in love with this little guy. This is the Essence Keep It Perfect Makeup Fixing Spray. This will transform whatever makeup you have underneath. It is a very dewy setting spray. Like, it makes my skin look so glowy. I honestly recommend just using 2 to 3 pumps because if you apply too much, you will look wet. But I love that. It's so affordable and I love this formula. It's so nice. It doesn't make my makeup last longer. My Milani one extends my makeup a little bit more, but I just love the finish it gives my skin. You know what? I might try using this with the new Marc Jacobs Shameless Foundation because I saw Katie's video and I saw that she hated the foundation until she set her face with Fix Plus, and I was like, I might try that out with this guy because I just love how this makes foundation look. I just love how this makes everything look. And this is so cheap. So cheap. Okay, so I want to give a huge shout out to this little eyeshadow quad. I've only used this 3 times, but the 3 times I've used it, I love it. I think it's such high quality. This is the Thrive Causemetics Focus Eyeshadow Palette, and this is the shade number 1. I think they have another one. They might have like a number 2, but this one is just a quad of just like your warm eyeshadows. This honestly has like a full look right here. You have your highlight shade, you have your lid shade, you have like your outer corner shade, and then you have like a deeper, smokier shade. The quality of these eyeshadows are seriously like, and honestly, I've just been so impressed with Thrive Causemetics. Their mascara blew me away. Their bronzer is now one of my new favorite bronzers. And now when I tried out this quad, I'm so impressed. And this is such a great brand. I love what they represent. I love their purpose. I love that every time you buy a product, they give one to a woman in need. It's just so awesome. And it's even better when the product is just as awesome. I'm actually wearing this all over my eyes today. I do have one shadow from my Dream Street palette. I have Shooting Star all over my lid, but I have this as my brow bone. And then I have these 2 smudged really close to my lashes. And I love how creamy and smoky these colors are, and they blend like a dream. They're so pigmented and buttery, and it honestly is the perfect little quad. And you could travel with this because the mirror is awesome on this guy. I just super impressed with this. Okay, so I have been testing out this concealer the entire month of February. This is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Conceal and Contour. I have mine in the shade C6, and the reason I purchased this is because everyone and their mother was saying that this was a dupe for the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. And I think I'm the only person on this planet who doesn't think it's a dupe. The only thing that's similar to me is the doe foot applicator, which is giant, just like the Shape Tape. Like, the packaging is very similar, but in terms of formula, the only thing I find that's similar is that this isn't very creasy. Not greasy, creasy. My Tarte Shape Tape Concealer doesn't really crease underneath the eyes. This one does crease a little bit more, but I've tried so many other concealers at the drugstore or even high-end that crease really bad, and this one is pretty good when it comes to that. But besides that, I think that this one has less coverage than the Shape Tape, and I also think it has more of a natural finish. Like, this one has a kind of like a dewier finish. I wouldn't say it's a dewy finish, but it's not as matte as my Shape Tape. And I don't know if that's just me, like how it works with my skin type, but to me, they're not dupes whatsoever. But with that being said, this is still a really great concealer. I feel like it lasts all day. I like how creamy it is. And I actually like that it looks a little bit more dewy. Like, I like the natural look. I actually love using this without setting it. Just kind of like tapping out the creases a little bit around my eyes and leaving it just like that, like on my no makeup days. So I have really been enjoying this concealer. I'm wearing it right now, and my Shape Tape does have more coverage than this. Like, my dark circles are peeking through a bit, but it's so good, especially for the price. Like, you cannot beat it. Speaking of Tarte, I have been so impressed with these chrome paint shadow pots, And I know that this is not like anything new. There are a ton of other brands that have this. I think that Giorgio Armani has like those Eyes to Kill shadow pots that are very similar to this, but these are obviously more affordable than Giorgio Armani, and they're amazing. But this one in Top Yacht is my favorite. It is the most beautiful, reflective, like champagne color ever. It is gorgeous. This is what I have on my inner corners right now, and you want a blinding inner corner highlight, like literally blinding, that people are gonna be like, whoa, what's that on your inner corners? Obviously, that's a lot of money just to highlight your inner corners, but you can use this all over your eyes. It is such a beautiful eyeshadow. I love using this as a halo effect. Like for example, I'll put on my entire eyeshadow, like a nice smoky eye, and then I'll get a little bit of this and just pop it right on the center of the lids, and it takes my look from like 50 to 100 really, really fast. It's just so good, and honestly, this will last you to the end of time. Like it'll die and expire before you finish it up. So I think it's worth the money. So next up, I have two lip products I want to share with you guys. One of them is the Catrice Lip Foundation Pencil, and I forget the name of this one because they don't have the name on the freaking, but oh, they do. What? How did I miss that? You know what it is? I already had this lip liner. I actually have two. I don't know why I have two, but I do. And this one says the name and this one doesn't. But anyway, why do I have two of those? I don't know. This is Addicted to Cafe Au Lait, and it is the most beautiful nude lip pencil. I like this because it's really, really creamy and it just glides on the lips, and it's awesome to really overdraw your lips with this. Like everything you put on top of this just like works. I really like this lip liner, and it's so affordable. It's from Catrice. And then my last lip favorite for the month. I don't have more lip favorites because honestly, most of the days I've been wearing that lip liner with like Moonchild gloss, or I've been wearing my Agave lip balm, or my Colourpop collabs, like my recent ones. But I did want to mention this. I did want to give a shout out to this because I've worn it 3 times. That's saying a lot. This is the Nude Stix Magnetic Matte Lip Color in the shade Joyce. I got this in an Ipsy bag and I haven't been able to put it down since I got it. It is such an intense color, so obviously it's not an everyday shade. Like, this is not what I'm going to wear to the grocery store. I mean, I would. I totally would. But I wore this to dinner the other night with Danny, and it stayed on my lips the entire night, and I was eating some greasy food. And this stayed intact all freaking night, and I was just so impressed that I've worn it a couple times outside of that, and I love it. I love how bold it is. I love how matte it is, but it's not super, super drying, and it's just such a unique color. It looks so cool. I just freaking love Joyce. And yeah, those are the lip products I've mainly been wearing in February. I do want to give a huge shout out to this necklace though. This is like my favorite necklace in the world. I call it my Carrie necklace. Did you guys ever watch Sex and the City? My sister used to be obsessed with that show when I was growing up. I was never super into it just because like Carrie made me want to punch her in the face. Am I the only one? She's my least favorite in that show. But she used to wear her Carrie necklace. Like it said Carrie and it was in cursive. It was beautiful. I've always like longed for a necklace like that. And I mean, they're totally popular. A lot of people have those necklaces. But my sister actually got me this one for my birthday. It says Mama, which is my nickname. I've told you guys like a million times, but Mama is what my entire family calls me, and I'm obsessed with it. She has her own jewelry line. I know I've spoken about this a few times on my channel, but she can make anything you want. Like everything is customizable. If you want it to say Booger Eater, your necklace can say Booger Eater, whatever floats your boat. I love how dainty it is, but how personal it is as well. I've also been wearing my Old English letter a lot too. It's like the K. I've been loving that one as well. I've just been loving CO. I love CO jewelry. It's really good. So I'm gonna leave the CO website down below in case you want some jewelry. But anyway guys, that completes this video. These were products I was loving in the month of February. Leave me a comment down below with your most favorite product of February. Like what is a product you have recently discovered that has your mind blown? I would love to know. Leave it down below. But yeah guys, that completes this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. But then, what? I need water. Sorry, I just woke up my dogs. Honestly, it's just really... That's Esspensive 26. Ow.